we have a block here. We're gonna put our steel through our block, and it's gonna create a little, kind of a little V-groove section, and when we fuller that, it's gonna end up looking similar to concave. It's a bit of a learning curve for any of you guys starting out. You know, it takes a lot of practice to get these things usable even. Commissar is at the same angle. I don't want to have, you know, my inside knife leaned over and my outside knife stood way up. It's going to push the center line of my frog off of balance in the foot, and it'll make it look maybe less symmetrical than it should. So here we have both sides of the commissars cleaned up. They meet pretty well for that central sulcus. I'm going to clean that up too. And I like to try and hold that angle at roughly the same angle as my lateral commissure. So I'm going to do the medial side of my central sulcus, roughly the same angle as my lateral commissure. And now I'm just going to take off some of these hard, sharp spots, make it a bit softer. So we have it nice and cleaned out. We have a good open commissure here. So we're going to be able to fit that buttress easier. We're not going to be running into having, you know, trappy spots on the frog. Now we can move on to the sole. And I'm going to come down the inside of the bar here and just keep cleaning it out. I'm not going to touch the bar quite yet. I'm just going to work on my sole around the foot. This, for me, the right side of my feet, the bar, if I come up with my knife, I have a tendency to kind of come in and maybe cut a bit of wall off and stuff. So I've been getting in the habit of taking my left-handed knife and coming down the bar. And so now I'm trimming this bar in the same way I've trimmed this bar on my outside. I'm coming down, and that gives me more symmetry in my bar trims. I don't. That explains a lot.
my pseudo frost heels.
So I saw Matt's trim, so I'm just gonna try to match that. Try to make it look like the same guy trimmed 2 feet. Get these bars to terminate at the widest point.
What do you do if they both don't terminate at the widest point?
Then just get them to terminate across from each other. Clean up this central sulcus. It's pretty hard, so I just come in with my nippers. Take the first layer, and then it'll be softer.
And that's just something, you know, it's not maybe the most comfortable way for me to do it, but it's just something, if you can practice it on a couple feet a day, you'll get pretty good at it. Now we're just going to take off the tops of the bars. And now I'm just going to look for symmetry. I'm going to look for the same widths. Try and straighten them as best I can. Clean out my seed of corn, and I'll just blend the tip so that I don't have a lump right at the end of my bar. Now coming to the inside bar, we're going to do just the same thing, try and repeat the process. All right, so from there we got our knife work set up. I think we're ready for a nip. But the sole is just, it's a different consistency than the wall, and so it's not going to trim the same. It's not going to cut the same with your rasp. You know, I think we're pretty well balanced here. I'm just going to take a bit of toe off and kind of blend it into the heels. And so every time I'm sighting my foot, I'm looking down. I'm trying to look for my flat plane, and anything that doesn't fit in that flat plane, I'm going to go ahead and attack those high spots first. Try and get those down, and then I'll just go over and do my flattening motions again. And so if I always kind of look at it as like a tolerance, you know, so the closer my trim gets to flat, you know, I might have like a mill out here, a mill out here, and so I'm attacking those high spots. And once I've got that, I'll just push this flat rasp across everything, and it'll just blend all those little tiny bumps in.
Don't want to over trim it, so just make it nice and soft. Make it look like the sensitive frog. That's pretty close. Side it for balance. A little toey, just like Matt's foot.
What do you mean by toey?
It's got more length at the toe to come off than it does in the heels.
All right, so we got our little bit of toe off. We're just gonna sight it. I'm gonna look for any high spots, and I'll address those first with my rasp. Get rid of all the sole here. Anytime you're trying to level a foot, if you have sole contacting it in anywhere, it will not level the same as just wall. So I only have wall contact now for my rasp.
What do you think?
And we're gonna go, I got some high spots here where I ended my nip. I didn't blend it all the way into the heel. So I'll just come across, take those off first. Drop the toe down a little more.
Yeah.
So now we go look. Okay, all my high spots are off. My balance is still pretty good. So now I'm gonna get into my flattening stage of this trim. And I'm just gonna push across the toe and up my lateral branch. Nice and flat. I'm not pushing too hard with the rasp. I'm just pushing it across there, letting the rasp do the work.
Getting feet flat. I come across the toe, out to the widest point, and slowly work my way back. Same thing to the other side.
I don't know if you want to talk about it, if it's something you do. It's kind of something I miss, maybe staying on my foot, but I do like to, on my feet when I'm flattening them, a lot of people they have a tendency to maybe roll heels off. And you know, that's a pretty common one. So whenever I'm flattening feet, when I come around and I come up, I like to come right here, and you can see I'm not contacting the tip of my buttress. And so I'll come up the whole time flattening that side without hitting the buttress, and then right at the end, I'll just sweep over and just catch that last little bit of foot, and that kind of helps me ensure I'm not gonna roll my heel off and have, you know, a high spot in my quarter that I gotta go deal with later. I think the shape on this foot is actually pretty good. So I'm just gonna go around lightly and just blend in any little lumpies and bumpies and make it all smooth and flow really well. A lot of times for this side, for this part, I'll take a duller rasp, maybe my finishing rasp, something that's not gonna quite cut as much foot off. It's getting pretty good. We just got one more little spot right here. One of the first things I always do on my tool and fullard when I dress, or a hunter fit style foot, is I just come in and make a nice radius. I don't necessarily want to take off a bunch of foot and make it straight and, you know, rip this all off till it's white and there's no wall left, but I do want to just make it flow around so there's no kinks. He's pretty good. He's not really got much flair to do, so I'm basically just coming around here, making sure that this is a nice straight wall for me to nail to. At this stage, you should have your shape cut in from the bottom, and you can kind of dress your top to that. And so here I'm more just looking at giving myself a nice platform to nail on.
With these frost heels, how much do you think we'll set down?
Well, I guess my first question would be, what is your block normally stretch on that?
Right around 3.
Around 3 inches.
Yeah.
So for me, I would look at it, and I'm gonna deduct 3 inches off of my 11 3/4 measurement for my billet. So that'll bring me down 1, 2, 3. I'll be at 8 3/4. I'm not running the tip of my heels through, so that's gonna probably stretch a little less for me on that. And then also I'm gonna need probably an extra 3/4 of an inch, we'll say, for both of my heels to make.
Yeah.
You like 3/8 per heel, just pack a little and
Yeah, I agree.
So with that extra bit not stretching as much, that should bring us back up to 9. We're gonna add another, probably another 1/2 inch, I think. We'll get 9.5 inches in the straight. And then if we need to go run it up again and get a last little bit of stretch, we're gonna do that. But I'd rather not come too long and have to try and bump it or something.
Yeah. It's always better to rely on the flatter in the block than be thinking that you're long in the straight, because then you're screwed from the start. So
yeah, so we good with 9.5?
yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Take this first heat just to set my heel up. I'll fold it over just a little bit, just a light kick back. And now I'm gonna go draw it up. And as I draw it up, I wanna pull it back a little bit and give myself a little more slope. And now when I come pack in, I'm gonna pack square in. And I'm just gonna, I like to come around a rounder corner. I don't wanna chip this anvil, so I'm gonna come over this round corner and just keep going till I'm about down to the base of my steel. And then I'll forge a little hunter heel on the end of that. I'm just gonna get just a little mark here.
So I'm gonna wait until he says yep, and then that's when I...
Yeah, we can go ahead on that.
Good?
Yep.
So I'm pulling
That's good.
to the shallow side.
So I just want a little mark so that my next heat when I come out, I'm not having to worry about placement here. I can know that I can just pull it back till it locks in and have him run my whole.
Get some height. Be pulling my hammer down to get this section flat again. Knock the heel on it. About there, Matt. Hold up. Is that good? I guess that's good. Try to always have the anvil set up for the next guy coming. Just make things efficient. You need to hit flat more than you need to hit hard.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just gonna come, I'm starting to just get a little bit of blow over from that block, so I'm just gonna gently clean that up.
Do you always shove your first rip in, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Get it clean. Tidy up this heel. Yep. I always hit where it's still 5/8 to straighten it back out. Don't be hitting the top line of your section. If you need to flatten your section, then hit the foot side. Make this to where it's parallel again. Just be reestablishing this heel, making it, forging it every step of the way. One more brush and we'll flatter. One trick I learned from Ben Yeager, if you quench that out, you can mushroom your foot side a little bit and not really affect your wedge.
All right, we're gonna use a guide fuller here, and that's gonna sit on top of my shoe here, and it's gonna put a little mark to where I can mark my fullering without it jumping around.
So he's setting the cadence right now. When he drops his handle is when I hit.
I need to switch sides of the anvil so I don't run my section differently.
Matt's gonna tell me when.
Yeah, go for it. So before I go ahead and flatter or do any more work here, I want to make sure, yeah, we're pretty much spot on our 11 and 3/4 measurement here.
So we don't want to stretch much. We'll just barely flatter it your side.
You can give it a decent flatter. I get it.
All right.
All right, now we'll finish up marking our guide fuller.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, just make sure you lean out ever so slightly on that first pass
Yeah.
with your splitter. You'll have a nice strong outer rim, but you're gonna be good.
Just a light little. All right, so from here I'm gonna go ahead and mark the center of my shoe. I think it's important at this stage to really take your time and make sure that you're putting this dot in the right spot on this shoe.
Get it straight before the block. So Matt's doing some half-face blows, getting it locked in. And I'll slowly feed it to him. And we both see those little weak spots that I have, so now he's aiming for those, giving me a consistent section. Yep, good. Straighten it out.
Anytime I'm running a sledgehammer, a lot of people, they like really try to hit hard. For me, I do hit very hard, but for me, I like to stand back quite a ways and give myself some space. You know, this is a long hammer, and then I just pick up my hammer nice and high if I want to be hard and just bring it straight down and let the hammer do the work, you know. The longer that this 10-pound sledge has before it hits that steel, the more velocity it'll pick up and the more work you're going to do with it.
Lean ever so slightly out. Make sure it's straight. Yep. Not right now. Yeah, now I'll turn the toe in the inside and fuller it, and then I'll take my outside. So in 2 more heats, I'll have a blanked out shoe.
And how far down do you want to get that sunk with that splitter pass?
Probably 1/3 to halfway in there.
So then you'll finish it off.
With my fuller.
I guess it's before fullering, really. I think fullering will stretch it, but I always measure at this point here where I have my guide fuller in. I know what I'm at, and then for me, I'll go do my toe bend and start fullering and making the rest of my shoe. And so it's just a case of finding whatever process you want to do and just keep repeating it until you have consistency in that. Yeah. Yep.
Is this a pretty similar process as you would make a wedge for the tool puller?
Absolutely, yeah. We're just going, I'm going a slightly different shape. I wanted a little bit straighter of a front edge. But other than that, we're pretty much identical, yeah.
Troy, how far do you drop your splitter?
Hey, Troy.
1/3?
A third to halfway. Yeah, Matt?
Just keep an eye on me here.
Looking good so far.
You start standing it up now or one more?
Yeah, start turning it in a little bit. It's just the first pass is slightly out. Then you just fuller it like a normal shoe.
Guys that haven't run tool and fullered before, we have a block here. We're gonna put our steel through our block and it's gonna create a little, kind of a little V-groove section. And when we fuller that, it's gonna end up looking similar to concave. It's a bit of a learning curve for any of you guys starting out. You know, it takes a lot of practice to get these things usable even. One of the main things that we need to work on, or we need to pay attention to with this block, is that it creates an inside and an outside section. So I need to think about which side I need to put in here for my outside and for my inside heels. I'm going to this heat. Yeah.
In the straight, you'll drop a splitter.
Yeah, I'll get it.
Drop a splitter in?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And that's something that, let me just turn this. That's something that's just kind of, he will always do that in the straight. I've gone in the past and not done it, and it's just kind of personal preference, I think. Just me using his block today, I'm gonna copy what
do it all in the straight, get yourself a blank.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like my caulk and wedges, when I was doing those, I was just trying to be quicker, get out of the way for people. So I would guide fuller them, and then my next heat I would turn my branch, fuller it then.
Oh, okay. Now a caliper and mark my toenails.
Mentality that first pass, but fuller it in the turn, finish punching, pritchling, all that in one heat. Okay. Get out of the way.
What do you think, Matt? Like just over 1.5 inches for this foot?
Yeah, I think so.
You guys work fronts for the team? Or were you on the team?
I was Hines on the team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now it's blanked out with the toenails marked. So now I'll go clean up my heels.
Yeah.
What nail do you want?
I'd say somewhere between concave and a fullered shoe.
Oh, it's combo 7. I don't care, whatever fits your deal. Probably an LX50.
Somewhere in there, yeah. E4 or 5, somewhere in there. Punch it for like an E4 probably.
Okay.
Jack, what are you doing?
So there I have my shoe turned and punched. I just have a rough kind of idea of my shape. I don't have it really refined yet, but it's close, and we're gonna move on to the other side now and get it spun around.
So I'll just do the same thing. Try to brush it up as best I can. One thing I like to do, I just like to true my section up right there. Make sure that wedge is leaning in. Just feed into it and drop my hand. Nice and easy, flatten it. Thinking of the wall angle. Line the toenails up. And I probably should have grabbed a pritchel.
That little pink guy kind of works.
The what? The pink one? Kind of funny doing something in a demo that you've never done, like at your shop before. So neither of us have put frost heels on a front foot before. Oh yeah. Especially out of tool and fuller. I guess we're lucky so far.
Now I'm going to use my bob punch to clip this. That's going to help me make sure my clip's in the center of my center mark. And all I'm going to do is just the exact same as concave. I'm just going to angle out and push a bubble. And so now I have a bubble protruding outside the outer edge of my shoe. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in and just raise the outer edge of my shoe above the plane of the anvil. And I'm just going to give it a couple hits. Just flat hits. And so now there I have it locked in, I have a nice line, I have a bubble started. From there it's basically just a regular clip. Level, make sure you level behind that clip. If you have lumps and stuff back there, you're not going to be able to fit a flat surface to your foot. So I'm going to go ahead and look at my shoe here. I'm a little bit wide, but I think the shape's kind of close. So I'm going to take a heat, I'm going to clean up my fullering, touch up the last little bits of my shape, and we'll go have a look at it. You basically just push out like a mass-lock, you know?
All right. Cool.
Hey, Troy learned a new trick. I think I'm pretty close. Make sure all those hit. But, you know, if anything's off, I'm not gonna go to the foot till, if I don't think it's right, there's no point in me walking over there. You know, if you've been fiddling with it for 2 heats, 3 heats, and you don't know where you're doing, or don't know where you're missing it, then go have a look. But if you look at it and you're like, man, that's not right, get it back in, because there's no point wasting time. All right, so my first job when I come over here to look, I'm not gonna get all excited about does it fit or does it not fit. My first job is just to make sure that clip is gonna go right in the middle of the foot. So I'm gonna give myself a mark there. And now that I have a mark on this side and this side, and I will come sight over the top of the foot, look up the frog, make sure it's all straight in line. And now I can come and I'll just cut, I don't know if you can see that, but I'll just cut this edge of my clip all the way over to the other side. And now I just have a little flat spot, and I'll come check again. A little bit more burn that time. Okay, I got a bit better mark. Now I'll just keep cutting that. Keep cutting that on either side, and just keep making sure that I'm still in the middle of the foot. Also maybe come take a look from the front. Does it look appropriate from the front? But there's no sense in fitting your shoe up if your clip's not in the middle and you're just gonna be chasing your tail around. All right, so we're just gonna come pull here. We're gonna essentially open up this spot, open that inside toe up to catch. So I'm coming out to that inside toe, and then I'm gonna go over the inside toe and push that branch in. All right, so from the bottom here, I'm quite happy with it. So now I like to come take it forward. Make sure I'm covering everything really nicely. So right there, I have a pretty good little rim around that whole shoe. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'll check the bottom one more time and then we'll go off and file this. Just follows around there nice. It's a little bit tight here still, but I think I can just roll with that.
How'd it go? You close?
Good. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that'll file up. Those will come down on my final burn. I want to leave myself a bit of room for that last trip to make sure I can sizzle that down and just have it blend in nicely, you know. But for this point where we're at right now, it's looking good.
Just a little bit more out and around right there, and I'll be all right. So my objective the first time I go to the foot is just make sure I get my clip in. A little bit more pitch on it. The best reference point to get a clip the same angle as the wall is the wall. So
find something that cuts here.
there you go.
And I do the same here as I do top dressing my feet. I try to go around. I don't want to go up and down and create a washboard finish. And so right here, I'm mainly looking that my inside is not higher than my outside. So if I'm rasping here and I'm not touching my outside, we're gonna keep going until we hit that outside. And then once we have that whole outside done, when we're going around the up and down around the outside here, we're just looking to create a nice symmetrical line. Nice even thickness, no fat spots.
Do you want the inside line to be the same as the outside line with it?
At least, yeah. If anything, I would like the inside line a little bit finer, a little bit more refined. So I come in now, I'm gonna try and cut this line to where it's the same as that outside line, maybe a bit finer. And I want it to be straight from here all the way to the bottom. And that's gonna create a lot of depth to my shoe and really make it kind of stand out. And as far as function goes, that will cut into the footing or dirt or whatever better than something that's not as refined. With the corner here, I can come in and I can pull towards me. I can also come in and push away from me. And so,
those heels forward.
and I'm also, I'll do a bit on the way up too. I think it takes off a bit more.
From the same height as that.
But it's really just about removing all that material
I
that
kind of just figured I want a little bit extra mass.
I never think I something.
Strong half inch.
Okay. Because I think we're sitting shallow, which is fine. We need to clean it up.
we have a front and a hind, or we did last year anyway.
Everyone kind of stretch a little bit.
Yeah. Just coming in here, seeing if there's any little bits that we want to change in our fit. So as I look at this, I can feel a little bit out here, a little bit out here, but that's not really concerning to me. That's kind of just his foot frayed off when he's been standing on this concrete. So here, I'm just gonna sit here and brush this, clean it up. It's just too hot for me to go burn that foot. You know, that fit was pretty darn close already, so I don't really want to burn too much more foot off. So we're in here now. We're looking at our final check here. Everything's all right. Okay. Because that way, you know, for me, like it's, you know, you clinch a bunch of feet in a day. I just stick it on the stand and turn my brain off. Yeah. And then when I get to a contest,
I'm
and
I've
got
I'll just
3 minutes to nail up a couple feet, you know, I can just spike my nails in and go turn my brain off again. And it's just that reliable system every time. I'll take that from you. I think this part should be pretty self-explanatory if you've done a good job fitting and building your shoe to where all your nails are in the appropriate spot. This should just kind of go pretty easily.
You what?
Gently dust anything off my foot. Make sure there's no rocks or anything under there that are gonna give me a sprung shoe when I like to start with my heel nails when I'm nailing up. I think it just pins the shoe a bit better.
Pass this around if you guys want to look at it. Not flat. I like that little bump punch.
All right, so we got all our nails in. I'll make sure I cut them all off, make sure I'm not gonna have anything poking me. And now before I block them, I'm just gonna go take a look from the front, see how my nail line is. Is there anything I wanna fix? I think my outside's pretty good. I'm gonna drop that inside heel nail down just a little bit.
Yep. You gotta hit it.
All right, so we just put our nail back in. It came out the same hole here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my driving hammer.
I gotta hit it where I want to hit it.
And I just flick the tip over. I just put a little bit more curl on that tip.
I'll keep that in mind, man.
And so now I can go pull it. I'm gonna watch just as that pulls back into the foot. I'll stop there and I'll re-drive it and get it out a lower hole.
So I'm just gonna try to make it look like mats.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and clinch this foot. So on my outside here, I'm just gonna go over hammer clinching and then I'll clinch the inside kind of how I would every day. So first thing I wanna do, just make sure my nails are all to 90. Come take some cutters and I just cut them square. Not too short. I think that's a big thing with hammer clinching is people cut their nails a bit too short and then you can't really grab them. These might be cut just a little bit short for me, but we'll put our little gouge under there. I'm just gonna start my bend a little more. And then I'll come with my block and just finish them off. So we got a good clinching rasp here. We're just gonna dust over our clinches. We've already got that foot pretty finished. You know, they're not really sticking out now. Just a quick little once over with this paddle again. You don't want to do too much with these sanders. You can kind of wreck a finish pretty quick. You can have all your nails sitting up.
Did you do all 4?
Yeah. So it really is just a once over with everything. And then we'll finish it off. Oh fuck, we're still going. Just going through the motions here, going over every little grit. Yeah, so this is our final, and this is not a sander, this is just a
Chamois.
It's a bit of leather. It's been glued to some Velcro to stick on these pads here, but this one here you can push pretty hard and just give yourself a little bit of moisture and just really buff that finish. So there's my clincher there. All right, so for my inside here, we're just gonna use the clinching tongs. Bat them over to 90. Chop a little hole in there. Cut them all, and then we just bend over and back up. Down and pull back up. Make sure they're all in the wall good. If you got any that kind of stick out a little bit, just give them a little tap. But right there, everything's in the wall, but you can just kind of feel little bits of foot above those. I'm not too worried about that because I think all these little sandpapers are going to smooth that off pretty quick. As you're doing this, it's important to keep blowing the dust off of these things. The dust will clog those paddles up pretty quick. Oh yeah. Give her the old spit shine. All right, so that one's clinched right there. We'll go ahead and clinch Troy's for him too.